Paper 2283, Adult Learning, the Social Capital of Active Music Making and the Development of the Person. Abstract, a literature survey on community music making and its role in music education and adult life revealed that community musicians and music educators are crucial in shaping the achievements of individuals and groups in community music settings. The broad definition of community music provided the means to analyse the activity of adult music ensembles, while the historical background of community music facilitated an investigation of adult music engagement across music traditions. The activity of adult music ensembles complement aspects of adult learning by the foundations of teaching philosophies and community music practice, in contrast with pedagogy as music education during schooling. An online survey designed to find if music education builds life skills was motivated by the need to better understand the culture of adult music ensembles. Research data highlighted the impact of such groups in community life, raising questions such as why adults make music together, if their music making experience is learning, and lastly, if we are making the most of the opportunities for the rapidly aging population as a society. Keywords include music relationships, music education, active music making, and community. Background. I commenced research on the activity of community music groups to investigate music education and life skills, contextualize teaching and learning, and recognize music education as a platform of music making into adulthood and beyond. Finding a window to explore music education and community life within the social capital of active music making presented a challenge. I started to research the musical experience of participants as a central feature of community music. This highlighted the musical engagement of members in adult music ensembles from within the principles of music education and the culture of the music the groups they join. Seminal works of the context and the CMAC position statement supported the development of the research into an argument of music relationships, the music identity of music-making adults, and the existence of adult music ensembles. The seminal works identify different contexts and include a seminar, the music making of a town, community music as an academic field, an Australian community music handbook, music education as community, many ways of community music, recognizing a gap between community music and formal education, and the dynamics of community music in Australia more broadly. Community Music Activity Commission, CMAC, position statement essentially include active music making, fluid structures and roles, reciprocating skills, sense of belonging, acceptance of others and other cultures, and lastly, recognizing that social and personal outcomes are as important as musical outcomes. The seminal context and CMAC position statement became the benchmark for formulating research questions and for analysing adult music ensembles. The research therefore questions whether social and personal outcomes are as important as musical outcomes in relation to adult music ensembles, and seeks to find their features, how they correlate, where they operate, the effects of their achievement, and if music education can serve as an agent of change and connect across contexts and genres, and lastly, how it contributes to the life of individuals, communities, and the broader society. Aims. Following a literature review on the musical experience of adults, the learning approaches of adults participating in adult music ensembles was identified as aspects of learning. This defined the research argument to investigate adult learning as a catalyst for continuing music education into community life. In this regard, Knowles 2012 identifies the adult learner based on his 6 assumptions. These are need to know, independence, prior experience, readiness to learn, orientation to learning, and motivation. Background. Research on music education and community life showed that adult music ensembles are active. Music educators and community musicians facilitate and organize. Group members include participants who move between leader and member roles. Music relationships in adult music ensembles develop through ongoing learning. Collaborative partnerships provide an insight in the meaning of music in the everyday lives of adults to better inform the existence of adult music ensembles. And lastly, lifelong learning is an investment in social capital. Method. Analysis. This paper is part of a larger project and adopts a mixed method approach. This was achieved by generating a coordinated listing of adult music ensembles by means of quantitative measures, evaluating the principle of community music as a basis for an ethnographic analysis of adult music ensembles as a phenomenon of community music practice by qualitative measures. Procedure. The coordinated listing provided a broad sample of participants of community, bands and orchestras, choirs and singing groups, percussions and drum groups, and ukulele groups. Sampling. Listing provided the source for the online survey and invited all members of listed adult music ensembles to participate. Results. The online survey comprised of 25 questions of 5 sections each due to the broad scope of community music. Initial findings reveal that in Section A, demographics, which included questions on age, occupation, employment, training and volunteering, findings show that the age group of 55 and above was a determining factor between the ratios of the questions as opposed to that of 55 to 18, as in Figure 1. In Section B, on school music education, the majority of participants play an instrument, can read music, but learned music privately and not at school, including those who are self-taught, as in Figure 2. In Section 3, on community music education, participants who joined a group did so recently, and that very few were members for longer than 25 years, as in Figure 3. Section D, on music relationships, includes statistics on active participation, being part of a section, whether participating as part of a leadership role, sharing skills, experiencing ongoing learning as a result of the sharing. And this section also shows a stronger percentage of participants who indicating being unsure for every question in this section, as in Figure 4. Section E, on music experience. This section included text boxes with questions on musical experiences being positive, musical identity, social identity, motivation to perform, and a sense of belonging. The table included below, following the initial findings in the paper, provided a section of the quantitative report and included brief comments. Please see the table. Conclusions. Adult music ensembles incorporate aspects of adult learning such as life experience, independent motivation. The social capital of music education relationships contribute to the musicianship of adults and supports their learning into a musical identity that is personal and a reflection of the culture of their music group. Music educators and community musicians and society more broadly can benefit from close relationship support, flexibility to learn, and demographic ratios that incorporate and value member input, member interests, and active participation. Musical interaction between participants, music educators, and community musicians result in a service to audiences of all ages. It is also a means of showing that the ever-expanding windows of opportunity for seniors are part of research on old age and holds potential for all age groups. Thank you for listening to my recording. I trust you find it interesting.